We're back. Another episode of Live from Mock City with Greg and Drew.
Yes, sir.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, you have like ghosts or something. It is Halloween.
It's Halloween. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, it's perfect segue. It's Halloween.
Perfect segue for that.
What are you dressed up as?
What was that?
It's a ghost.
Oh, okay. What am I dressed up as? Early 30s male straight Mexican man.
What was the last Halloween costume you wore? I don't know if I've ever seen you wear a Halloween costume.
Last one was in college.
You realize how long ago that was, right?
Yeah, a while. I dressed up as a 1970s basketball player with like an afro and like
semi-pro?
Yeah, exactly. Like an ABA player.
Were you doing semi-pro or just that's all the clothes that you had? So you're just figured.
Someone in the dorms had an afro, and I'm like, we'll be a basketball player. We'll be a 70s basketball player. And I just rolled the shorts up and put my socks high and wore some Chuck Taylors and jersey and went out and got really cold.
I'm way off. I thought that it actually was Halloween today.
Dang.
Did you think that?
It's COVID-ween.
You know what's crazy is I don't think anybody's going out trick-or-treat. Well, they might. Some people might somewhere. I bet you there's like some little secret neighborhoods that are. You know.
I mean, just think about certain places. There's no COVID in certain places the way they're acting.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So there are definitely some trick-or-treaters out there somewhere. But it reminds me of after the only time it was like that was after 9/11. You remember going out after that? And it was like the year before. You go to every house, people are giving out hot dogs, like cooked food. And then after that, they're talking about putting razor blades in your candy, putting anthrax in your Jolly Ranchers and having parents to make sure they check all the candy and all that stuff. Like it transformed. The
anthrax was a thing I remember. It was like, oh, this got anthrax in it. Like what
I still don't know what anthrax is.
I have no clue what it is, but they were just what was it? It was like it was in envelopes or something.
They were talking about it like it's anthrax dust, like it's fairy dust, and you just sprinkle it in an envelope. Like that's what I always thought that it was like that because it didn't make sense.
People were talking about it like it was crack. They're like, oh, it's anthrax. It's anthrax in it. What? Okay.
You just sprinkle some anthrax on your envelopes.
Clue. To this day, I have no clue what anthrax is.
Yeah, I don't know what anthrax is. I don't know what SARS. People talked about SARS, and now SARS is like the same as COVID, apparently.
Yeah.
Like H1N1.
H1N1.
Like all these weird diseases floating around that you can sprinkle on stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of costumes, have you seen Borat? You seen the new Borat?
No. Is it out?
Yeah. Borat subsequent movie film.
Goes to jail?
No. Borat actually gets sued a lot and apparently hasn't lost a case.
Oh, really?
Imagine that.
Hold on. Is he the same dude that was Ali G?
Yeah.
Like that's the same guy that plays Borat, plays Ali G? Okay.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, that's his name? I've heard his name before.
He's been in other stuff. I mean, he was in Step Brothers. Or no, not Step Brothers. What was the racing one? Talladega Nights. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I didn't see.
And he was like the bad guy, like the French guy or something. But I think he's done serious roles too. So like he's
really
he's like a versatile actor. But then he does his Borat. His Borat thing is like a totally different beast.
I've seen Borat, but I've seen the first one. The first one, Mariah Carey's in it, right?
Is she? That doesn't sound like a Mariah Carey type.
All right, maybe I just made that up.
What was that movie?
Maybe I
Glitter
wanted
or
to be.
or
Maybe it was
Onion?
like after. Maybe it was something after the movie, and I was like, "Oh, she's in the movie."
No, pretty sure Mariah Carey's not in Borat.
Oh,
But this
okay, my
one
bad.
was, I mean, both of them were crazy, but this one was especially crazy. Some of the stuff that he did, like I had to look it up as I'm watching to find out if it's real. You know, like because I just couldn't. It was so out there that it was hard to believe that ever happened. Um, but he lived with these strangers. He met these strangers on a street somewhere, like while filming, and then they invited him back to his house, to their house. It's these two like conspiracy theorists, and they end up inviting him back to their house, and he lives with them for 5 days in Borat character. Like it really happened like that organically. At least that's what this article that I read said.
It's like the Blair Witch Project. It really happened.
Not like the Blair Witch Project. I thought that shit was real when that came out. Blair Witch.
Everyone did. Every kid was like, "Oh, it's real."
You know what did it was the snot. It's because there's snot coming out of their nose.
Mm.
And I figured if it was the real movie, they wouldn't have snot.
Are you a scary movie person? Do you like scary movies?
Nope.
Why?
I don't see the point. Like, I get scared.
You don't see the point?
I get scared.
Oh, you get scared?
Yeah, like you got me, okay? Like, I don't get it.
I like scary movies, but I have like a love-hate because like 95% of them I feel like are corny because you know what's going to happen. So it's like, oh, he dies. Oh, he pops out of this window. Oh, they catch him. Oh,
that commercial where they're hiding behind the chainsaws is dead on. I get. You know what I'm talking about, right? That commercial where they're hiding from the murderer and they go to all these stupid spots like in the boathouse or the shed. Let's hide behind the chainsaws. Like, you never seen that?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. All right. Well, listeners have seen it. They know what I'm talking about.
Nah, but what's your favorite scary movie?
It's weird, but Amityville Horror, the second one. So the original came out in the 70s, like 72 or something. But then they made a remake in like the early 2000s, I think. And Ryan Reynolds was in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how well it did, like as far as making money, but I thought it was good. I thought it was scary. You know, like, and it wasn't to me. It wasn't as corny as a lot of those scary movies that I see. But plus, it's based on a real story. I won't say a true story, but that story of that house, you know, and that family who died in it, like the son murdered the rest of his family. So like that story is real. So I think that's what it is to me that gets me about it is stories like that or movies that are based on real events. That's what gets me.
Yeah, I think for me, you have to, if there's some sort of like, oh, this could be real or it's based on a true story or whatever, I think that's more so something that'll get me.
Does the Exorcism stuff get you?
Yeah, when I first saw it, I think that was probably the scariest movie I'd ever seen.
Have you seen that one, the Exorcism of Emily Rose?
No.
It came out. It came out probably 2000s or something, but that was another creepy one. God, what was that one with the girl? The girl with the long hair.
Little Red Riding Hood?
No. No. The Ring. That's what it was. And if you watch the video, then you die or whatever, right?
Yeah, I liked that one. I don't know if that was I think it was one of those movies where I was watching it with like a bunch of people and we were kind of like laughing through it, but I thought it was good.
You're all scared.
I'm scared. It's funny.
Dude, that's me. Whenever I watch a scary movie, I'm sitting there
This is
like
so funny. You're sweating.
I'm all tensed up, like my core is engaged because I don't want to jump and look stupid. So I'm like sitting all stiff.
So Joe Budden, the podcaster, he Pump It Up. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the song Pump It Up, right?
I played NBA Live, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You played video games in 2000s. Like, it's on every EA Sports game. It's on EA Sports Badminton. Like, pump it up. No, but he remakes that, or he has like a rendition of The Ring in his video. Like,
For
I think
that
he
song?
comes out. Yeah,
Oh,
I think it's
wow.
that song
Okay.
where he comes out of the TV, or someone comes out of. I think it's him. He comes out of the
Okay.
TV, like the ring or whatever.
Okay, wow.
Um,
The thing about it to me is like people ask me if I would go skydiving or or bungee jumping or something, or even roller coasters. Like I don't ride roller coasters because it just, to me, you're simulating the feeling of dying, and I don't need to feel that. Like you're that feeling of your
okay.
stomach coming up in your chest is your body saying you're about to die.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I mean, what else is that feeling? Like
I thought it was
butterfly.
fun.
No, it's you're on your way to your death.
Oh, dang.
And I choose not to feel that feeling.
My scariest horror film of all time was probably
Chucky.
Bride of Chucky. No. Yeah, probably I would say The Exorcist. I can't even think of any good horror films.
I mean, Chucky. I remember seeing Chucky when I was a kid, and at first it freaked me out because it's a doll, obviously, but then like rational thought came in, and it's just like, just kick it, just punt it. Like, he walks super slow. He can't even bend his knees or his elbows.
Oh, so this is what you were telling yourself as you were scared, right?
Yeah, this is me trying to validate myself, saying that I could win against Chucky if it came up. If it came to that.
Oh man.
But I definitely like my chances if that's what it comes to. Hey, I have this clip that I wanted to show you. I don't know if you've seen this before, but it always makes me feel really happy.
Wow, damn. ADD. Wow.
Fuck! Oh my god! Shit.
What just happened? Oh.
Okay.
Dang.
Not bad, right?
Well,
I just
was happy and then mad.
Something about it just makes me smile in a way that's really frightening for some people.
You liked that happened to him?
I love it for whatever reason.
No one knows what happened.
Oh God. Okay. Listeners, there's a guy, he's got a headband. First of all, he's carrying 2 cups of coffee for what looks like 3 people. And he's riding a skateboard. Does a little drive-by high five to one of his other skateboard buddies. And then for whatever reason, just eats shit. Drops both coffees. Coffee flies everywhere. And he doesn't like it. But I don't know what it is about the video. It just, I've watched it probably.
He had like 4 cups of coffee in his hands too.
Yeah, that's probably his whole. I mean, that cost $20. Like that was his money for the day. But of these 1.6 million views, I would say I'm 0.6 million.
Does he keep his sunglasses on as he falls?
Oh no, not at all. Nope. Glasses gone, coffee gone, pants are falling off, steps on the skateboard. And I don't see how that helps anybody.
I wonder how hot that was.
I mean, they tell you on the cup, so you should know.
Dang.
Yeah, so I just had to share that. Now I just had to uplift myself. There's something sometimes about watching somebody else get hurt that's really satisfying.
The name of the video is Skateboarder Spills Coffee, Serious Case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like whenever I have a bad day or I feel like I'm going to have a bad day, I just put that on.
Did you ever you ever get into skateboarding?
No. That's why. This is why. Because I don't want to be that guy.
Not for like a week at least?
No, I never tried it. I thought the shoes were too stupid. I thought, I don't know. It was too much. And I had a bike. Like I was always a bike person.
Yeah, me too. Bike to go play basketball.
Yeah.
I remember some friends like in elementary school, they would like turn skater after we were just playing ball like every single recess or lunch or whatever. And then I would just look at them like, you'll be back at some point, or we just probably won't be friends anymore.
Wait, so you're talking about people who would skate? What are you talking about?
They would turn into skateboarders. Like that was their thing from like playing ball all the time.
Yeah.
And
then Lupe Fiasco showed up and then they started.
Yeah.
Started being skateboarders.
I mean, Lupe Fiasco came later, but yeah.
Oh, I can't remember how old we are.
It was more so like Tony Hawk came around.
Yeah. No, it never hit me. I mean, I'm assuming it never hit you, but
it never. I mean, a lot of people around at one point. I remember when like it was at the height, and I looked around, and it was like not a lot of people playing basketball anymore.
Skateboard.
And I was just like, yeah, they got consumed by these skateboard streets.
Oh my God. That reminds me of, there's a guy that I work with who used to skateboard, was like a skateboard kid, and all that was big. He's about our age. And so he was telling us that recently he went to the skate park. He's wearing like all his pads and his helmet, and he's 30 years old. Plus he's balding. Like he looks like he's maybe 45. I don't know if he's listening right now, but you know who we're talking about.
A 45-year-old man, you know who.
But so he said that he's rolling up to the pool, the big bowl where they kind of dip in. And so he gets to the edge of it, and there's three kids, 3 middle school kids kind of sitting there hanging out. He drops in, and on the first one, board comes out from under him, and he just eats shit like this guy. He said that he audibly did like an oof on the ground when he hit it. Oof. And then he said all the kids just like, oh. And he got up and he picked up his skateboard and he went back to his car and he went home. Oh man!
Wow, he went home to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
He went home to his wife and like 2-year-old daughter with like cuts and bruises from falling at the skate park.
Cracked open a Zima. Dang, man.
Yeah, man. It never hit me. I'm glad that it didn't.
Yeah, because you'd end up like that guy.
Yeah, I know. I'd have a lot more broken bones if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear that?
Yeah, what the heck's going on?
I can't tell you. I'll tell you off air what that is.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Let me
kidding.
see your hands.
It's my dog.
Oh, okay.
Not me. No, my dog is drinking water. It's not me. This is not a Louis C.K. situation. Anyway, see the Dodgers?
Yeah, I saw they won. They won.
Yeah.
They won a baseball game.
Yeah. It got pretty scary there for a little bit. I thought it was going to be, again, for the fourth time, get there and not get it.
When was the last time that they won?
88. And in 88, Lakers won it too. So it's.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah, so that
crazy.
Magic won it that year. Then, man, they showed some stat that showed Magic and all of the rings that he has. And I think he's got 5 as a player, 5 as an owner for the Lakers. So 10 there for the Lakers. And then 1 with the Sparks and 1 with the Dodgers now as an owner. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. But
yeah, that's man. To
yeah,
come to LA when he was what, 19, 20?
Yep.
And then to this, like, dang.
Yeah.
You
know about his contract, right? When he came to the Lakers.
25 years, 25 million.
Like the first time anything even like that, anything close to that happened.
Yeah. That's one of those people that it's like worth it.
But like I mean, for them to put their money on that back then, you know.
Yeah, but but look what he did for Michigan State.
Yeah.
And it was the most watched college game.
Yeah.
Of all time or something like that.
Yeah, you could see the appeal back then.
Yeah, Ray Charles could see that he was going to be a star.
Have you heard Shaq's theory that blind guys like that are faking it?
No.
He tells a story about being in an elevator.
Oh, right? I did hear that.
You heard that, right?
What was it?
It was that Stevie Wonder is in the elevator. Like I think Shaq gets in or Stevie Wonder gets in. I don't know who was in there first, but he gets in and he never says it's Shaq, like it's me, Shaq. I think he was quiet. And then at some point in the elevator, Stevie Wonder like says Shaq, like, "What's up, Shaq?" or something like that. So like now Shaq says his theory is that all blind people are faking it.
I did see that. Man, that's hilarious. He said Stevie Wonder could see. That's crazy.
Only Shaq, man.
He gets on that show and just thinks about. He doesn't care anything else, but thinks about how crazy he could be. That's it. That's all he cares about.
I mean, him and Chuck like wrestled in the green room. Remember seeing that?
Yeah, but that's all Shaq.
That's all Shaq.
Like, how can I mess with someone?
Yeah.
How can I make a viral moment? How can I be crazy? That's all he cares about.
You see videos of him at raves and all that EDM stuff. Like he'll get in the crowd and like mix it up with people.
I mean, what? No one's gonna mess with him. One,
exactly. He knows that. Yeah.
No one's gonna mess with him. I mean, and he's got a lot of money, so it's like if I was that rich, that successful, that'd be the way to live.
And he's just like a man of the people. Like,
yeah.
I've heard the stories of when he was in Orlando, like people or kids would come over and knock on his door and ask if he would come out and hang out and play with him, like, and he would, like, Shaq would just come out and play, like.
Yeah, I could definitely see him doing that.
That is a once in a generation dude right there. Like.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And he's going to be like the funniest old guy. I mean, he's already, he's not old yet, but you can already see like he is always going to be hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's because he plays off of his height. Like he just knows how ridiculous, and everything is Shaq something. Shaq miss, Shaq's giving.
Yeah.
Shaq-a-ween. Like all these things. Like that's just how he names everything.
Right. Yeah, Shaka Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when he first got on the Inside the NBA show, he was just doing something crazy every single week, and they were kind of like getting used to it. Like, okay, Shaq's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
And Kenny Smith, he was just like, this guy will do he's like, Shaq comes up here every single week and he tries to figure out, if there's something that we could do, okay, I'm gonna try and do it on fire. He's always trying to outdo something and take it to the next level. And that was so true. Like, he'll do anything damn near.
Him racing Kenny to the board every time.
Racing Kenny. He's like on the brink of injuring himself every show.
Yeah, like he has more injuries on Inside the NBA than he did.
But he'll laugh it off. He's gonna laugh about it. Like, he'll like get pushed up into a tree and just laugh.
Yeah,
like he could have really died.
Yeah, but I wonder if he even feels that stuff too, because he is so massive. Like
True.
Christmas trees and stuff. Like he's way bigger than trees.
Yeah, it's dang. I just hope he doesn't get hurt one of these days.
I know he's gonna be doing that when he's like 80 years old. Right? He's like the giant black Chris Farley.
Yeah. The giant black athletic basketball player, cool.
Yeah, like all of those things too. Yeah, a little different than Chris Farley. What's the other NBA news? And there are a couple new coach hirings, right? When 76ers picked up
Doc.
No, or the GM, right? They got a new GM.
Oh, they did? Who's who?
Or it was I think it's Daryl Morey. Yeah,
who was that? That was the Rockets. Yeah, okay.
The Rockets guy. Yeah. So that'd be an interesting pair.
I saw that he took out like an ad in the Houston newspaper. Did you see that?
Who?
Like the GM for Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey.
Yeah, he took out
apologizing or what?
Ad. It's just the I'm sorry headline. No,
I'm sorry, I got Russell Westbrook.
No, it was actually a thank you to James Harden. It was basically a thank you to, I guess, the franchise, but most of it was James Harden. And he's like, he changed my life and this and that.
Whoa.
Like, yo, you're getting a little kind of crazy. Hey, yo. It was weird because it was like a heart around his name. It was really
no.
Nah, he didn't do that. No, but he just thanked him. He's like, he changed my life.
There's this story of who the Who is, right? The band.
Yeah.
Right. So the Who and the Rolling Stones, I guess, used to tour and.
Who's the Rolling Stones? No.
That's another band. Did some stuff one time, but they used to tour together, and so the guitar player for the Who is Pete Townsend, and then the lead singer for the Rolling Stones is Mick Jagger, and I think it was Pete Townsend who released a book talking about, it was like an autobiographical thing, and in the book he talks about having like some kind of sexual relationship with Mick Jagger, and like talks about it kind of explicitly. So my thought when that came out was, did he let Mick Jagger know that he was going to release that? Or did Mick Jagger just like open the book and then it said, hey, remember that one time that me and Mick Jagger, did da-da-da-da-da. So I always wonder how that conversation went after that book came out.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with that. To the fans, I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, you wouldn't be upset if you had a gay relationship with another man and then he outed you without your permission?
Hey, it's not my preference, but to the listeners, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the LGBTQR or LGBTQ.
For the record, I don't think Pete Townsend is gay. I don't think Mick Jagger is gay either. Shout out to the LGBTQ community, but I don't think either of those two are gay.
There was another letter that they added on. Is LGBTQ something else?
I missed it.
Yeah, but I don't know. X. I think it's X.
Producer, put that in later. Add the
add the X.
Add the X. What does X stand for?
I don't know. Extreme, and I don't know.
All right, I gotta brush
Xylophone.
up. That's the only word that I know starts with X. I don't know.
X-Men. No, I don't know. But shout out to you. Shout out to X.
Yeah. Shout out to Pete Townsend not asking permission and then talking about how he touched Mick Jagger's dick.
Man, that's crazy. That's snitching, right?
Exactly. That's why I thought it was crazy because he just they had a moment together and they were gonna just sweep it under the rug and never talk about it ever again. But he wrote it in his book, so it's out there now.
Man.
Did you?
Yeah, let's get out of that.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get out of that before we get too deep into something. Did you? Did you vote yet? By the way.
Yeah, of course I did.
You did? Okay.
Did you?
Not yet. I'm still trying to understand
all
the propositions, man. The props, they get me all twisted around.
The listeners are gonna love us talking about that.
What? I can't. They know what I'm talking about. That if you vote yes on Prop 22, then you're gonna give small people health care, but you're gonna kill a bunch of turtles, and so
right.
You don't know which one to pick.
Do you think that presidency has become a first grade class president election?
Who's gonna get more ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. If I become president, we're gonna have 2 hours of recess.
Everyone's gonna get free COVID vaccines. Everyone's gonna get $1,000. Everyone's gonna get a wall built around the country. Everyone's gonna just say anything.
Say whatever, and then you get in there. You get in there, and then you find out, okay, no, you can't make recess the entire day. You can't have only ice cream at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
But still fall for it, of course, in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we'll see who becomes class president this year.
Yeah, exactly. There was a classic clip that we were talking about. I think that could be a thing. There are so many classic clips that I've seen.
Yeah.
Our skateboarder buddy here.
Oh yeah, how Sway? You ain't got the answers. Kanye West.
Oh wow. I haven't seen it. I tried to listen to more of that Rogan Kanye West podcast. It was tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's what, 2.5 hours? Jeez.
Yeah. Rogan he tries to keep it on the rails, but sometimes I don't know if he left and he's just letting Kanye, he went to the bathroom, he's just letting Kanye talk.
Right.
But anyways, here's a clip that we were recently talking about that we want to show. We'd like to expose to some listeners.
Well, what's this? We'll set it up.
Yeah, so setup is, you said it. You probably know better about the.
Well, I know who Bill O'Reilly is. So
I do know who Bill O'Reilly and Cameron and Dame Dash. Bill O'Reilly is, or I think is, but was a famous Fox News correspondent, I guess, Fox News personality. I'll say that.
He was Mr. Fox News for years.
Back in the day, he was Fox News. He's what I knew Fox News as.
Right. He was like the only, he was the famous, he was a crossover star.
He was,
so to speak.
Do it live.
Do it live. That was his claim. That was like his.
That's another classic. That'll come back. That'll be a recurring thing probably. But
he got let go.
Which is great. I'm wondering for what? Like after however long he was on air, it took him that long to fire him.
Well, he had sexual harassment lawsuits.
Wow, and that's it?
Yeah. It was like an extortion actually.
Oh, I thought it had to be more than that for Fox News.
Yeah, this is not facts, but
speculation
in my mind. What happened? I think she extorted him.
He had to resign.
Yeah,
producer, look that up.
It was like 60 million or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he had to pay her 60 million, or else she was going to threaten a lawsuit, sexual harassment lawsuit.
That's bad.
So Fox was just like, "See ya,
you're on your own."
Yeah. But yeah, so this
it's Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, it's Bill O'Reilly, and he's with he's speaking to Cameron and Dame Dash from Rockefeller.
Mm.
And this is, what are we looking at here? 2003. So this is
height of Rockefeller.
Yeah. So Cameron is what was that song? Oh Boy.
Oh Boy. He's wearing pink. Jay-Z's Black album around there.
So he has Cameron and Dame Dash on to basically discuss some of their rap lyrics and how they're influencing the public.
Last week, the principal of John Reynolds Elementary School in Philadelphia, Salome Thomas L., told us he believes gangster rap music is extremely harmful to his inner-city students. So we decided to get Grammy nominee Cameron, who raps about pimping and bitches, and among other things, and rap producer Damon Dash, a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, together with Mr. Thomas L., who joins us now from Philly. And here they all are. Now we're going to have a nice, intelligent discussion here, gentlemen, and I'm going to moderate this discussion.
A nice, intelligent discussion here, black fellows.
Here, you crazy black guys that we're going to have on the show, don't throw anything. And be civilized. I'm going to make sure that you're civilized. And they just look at him like, okay, like, what are you expecting us to do?
I'm going to moderate because I'm the civil one.
Guys, I'm an adult. Okay. Okay, Bill O'Reilly, go ahead.
Pimping and bitches.
Yeah,
Pimping and bitches.
You got it.
Cameron's already upset.
Already pissed off because Bill O'Reilly starts it off by saying, your rap's talking about pimping and bitches. Cameron's already checked out. Like, okay, all right, it's going to be one of these.
In your record, Purple Haze, right here. But anyway, let Mr. Thomas L. direct his questions, and then you guys can answer, and you can ask him questions or whatever you want. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm a big fan of yours. I grew up on hip-hop.
Thank you.
I'm a little older, so, I was a Run DMC fan, KRS-One.
Do you think he says those guys specifically for them? Like, you think this guy's real? Like,
yeah, like about liking hip-hop?
Yeah. Because Run DMC is New York, right?
Yeah, Run DMC and KRS-One's New York.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm wondering. Is he saying?
Well, he seems that era when like their early hip hop. He seems that era.
Anybody who's kind of on the Bill O'Reilly team, I'm a little suspect.
Well, it seems to me that they found this guy and he was outspoken about the lyrics, and they're like, "Yes, we got someone on our side that's black.
Right.
We'll get him to attack these black rappers."
These black guys with their pimping and their whatever. All right.
But I'm always promoting the positive of rap. I mean, Jay-Z's an excellent example of someone who's has started his own label, who's an entrepreneur. So always promoting that with my young people.
Like how Dame Dash's
I spoke to some
hat
students
covers half of
today
his
in
face,
preparation for our conversation tonight, and they were just so excited about the fact that I will be conversating with you guys, but also began to talk about the impact of the rap business on our young people, and many of them talked about how they understand that it's to sell records and it's for promotion, but there are many young people who are affected by the lyrics, by the example, the videos. They talked about how Ludacris, many of them knew about a video that Ludacris has where there's strippers and lap.
There's one video. That one video that had strippers. They're not watching very many rap videos back then if they think there's one video that has strippers.
Yeah,
dances and those kinds of things. And these are 11, 12, 13-year-old students who are very aware of what goes on.
Now they're playing the video in the background.
What your thoughts were
you guys have it on cue.
Whether you thought you really had an impact
yeah, that's interesting,
young
isn't it?
people, and whether you thought it was negative or positive.
Cameron, why don't you go ahead?
At the end of the day, yeah, you got an influence on it, but so do movies. Like with me, I'm just an author. So what you do is, what I do is I write what goes on in the ghetto. I'm not a liar. So
from the
what
start, first round fireworks, right?
That's what goes on in the streets of Harlem. Now I'm like a reporter. You look at the news, you don't get mad at the person reporting the news. A lot of influence, I think, go to movies. A lot of people look at the movies and then they react. The kids that killed them kids, and where was that, Dane? Like Columbine. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? I don't think they were listening to rap at all. I think that was more like a Marilyn Manson jump off, like.
So when he says that,
ding ding,
to the listeners who can't see this video, when he says that, he says a Marilyn Manson jump off, and he's got like his rock and roll horns on his hand up.
I like how he brought up that point about rock and roll and white kids shooting up the school, and I bet you anything they're in Bill O'Reilly's ear like, get him.
But you were right though. He came out swinging with that. Like he said about pimping in bitches, and then he was like, "Remember Columbine when those guys killed all those people for playing Marilyn Manson?" Like, okay, yeah. Shots fired, no pun intended.
What if an 11-year-old kid imitates you, Cameron? What if he uses 4-letter words and he develops a lifestyle based upon the street? He gets tattooed. He gets all this. Let me just say, and then you jump in. Do you feel badly about that?
Dame Dash wants to get him.
Can I maybe interject? If a 11-year-old were to imitate Cameron, what they would be doing is becoming a CEO of their own company, controlling their own destiny, taking a bad situation and making it good. He has a record company. He sold a lot of records. He's acted in movies. I feel like he's a positive. Also. He has a cologne.
I have a clothing line.
He's an entrepreneur.
He's advertising his stuff. Hey, don't forget. Clothing line and cologne. Don't forget.
You can just tell Bill O'Reilly's like, I don't like how this is going.
Yeah, you're not responding in the way that I want you to respond. Yeah. Damn.
Do you have a child who is unsupervised, and then Mr. Thomas L. has to try to teach, right? And he's using 4-letter words inappropriately. He's dressing inappropriately. He doesn't have value of education. Well, then that kid's in trouble.
Who's to say what's inappropriate as far as dressing goes? But on another level, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator, he was shooting up half of everyone in sight.
It's a cartoon, though. This is more real.
Oh, the Terminator is not a cartoon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator. Cartoon coming soon.
Cartoon. What
said, made him think it's not a cartoon?
Yeah, like, whoa.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, you never been to Universal Studios? It's not a cartoon. But I like how they skipped over it, and they're like, okay, whatever. That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
This is real, though, isn't it?
Well, no. In my life, everybody's rap is real.
This is real. It's not a Terminator cartoon. All right, Mr. Thomas, what else do you want to ask these guys?
You didn't let me finish. That wasn't very fair.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, let Mr. Dash.
Now we're talking about the good governor of California.
That's right. And I'm telling you, his movie's a cartoon, whereas this rap stuff is real life.
But you said
who are you to determine that?
Hold on, Ken. If there's an unsupervised child, how is he to know whether it's real or not? How is he to determine what's real and what's not real? Who's to supervise him?
All right. So you think that the Terminator movies are just as damaging or more so than gangster rap?
I would have to say, being that there's a visual and being there's no explanation to him, and being
visuals on these rap.
That's such a good point. What he said, that there's no explanation. Like
this whole argument is just.
But like Terminator,
it's so obvious he brought him on to like make him look bad, and then it just blew up in his face.
He thought they were going to be easy targets, but
they brought, of all people in the history of hip hop, Dame Dash, who literally like argued his way into
being a millionaire. Oh, okay.
Videos too, though.
But what I'm saying is, it's glorified. There's no justification for all the shooting that goes on. So if he's reporting what goes on around the street, he's a product of his environment. Not to say him, but he's reporting what is a product of his environment. How is that wrong for him to report that?
Gentlemen, let's be honest.
Thomas, I'll get in here.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Who do these kids relate to more? You, someone from the inner city, or someone from another country, or someone from the suburbs? Let's be quite honest.
Well, what I was
you came up the same way I did,
right?
The same way millions of these kids do every day. We're growing up in a fatherless society. We're growing up. A lot of our friends, your friends, my friends, didn't have a lot of supervision at home. Most of the time, they were at our homes. We had good parents. We had parents who didn't allow us to do or watch these kinds of things.
He's just trying to get
children, in the movie industry, believe me. I'm a critic of the movie industry also. I think that these kids are watching too much TV, period. But my issue is that when you rap about what these children relate to because it's in their environment. You've already stated that they don't know your story because you're a CEO, and I agree. But see, you don't promote that, and your company doesn't promote that. They promote the four-letter words.
We don't promote entrepreneurship. We don't promote positive and ownership of your company. I'm making it cool to be smart.
All right.
I'm making it cool. Wait, let me. I'm making it cool to be a businessman.
It's not about business.
It's about for you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something
negative. Their literal
name is Rockefeller. It's not negative to be a businessman.
Right.
It's not negative to take care of the economy around you.
Money, Mr. Dash, if you hurt children.
How do you hurt children by promoting to be an entrepreneur and a CEO and to do right by?
Looking at a principle.
For example.
Hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. Where'd you start?
They were waiting for that. They knew they were going to get that out of him, too.
Oh, man.
He
in
got
the most juvenile way. You mad?
You mad, doggy?
Like he's just spectating. It's the guy who's watching two people argue, and he's instigating, and he's mad.
Yes, but there's no comeback from that.
No, because he's getting mad about
What's he gonna do?
I come in the field, right?
No, wrong.
Well, you're looking I got dirt on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I got
dirt on you, doggy.
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
Listen.
You get at me.
A guy who teaches inner city kids and who's telling you face to face that he has problems with kids based upon a rap music, and you're rationalizing it all up and down.
I thought you were going to mediate.
I am.
No, what you're doing
what happened to that?
That's not. You're not objecting mediator now, Bill.
It's my program.
Bill, now it's your program.
It's my program.
Bill.
Yes, it's my program.
Bill, come on, Bill.
You'll have the dash factor some other time.
I have the dash factor.
Gentlemen, I got
a question for Cameron based
on
let's keep it simple. This is simple.
I've got.
Wait a minute, Mr. Rand. Now, look, if the principal tells you that there are children in his school, Cameron, who are being adversely affected by your music, do you care?
I care, but you got to talk to their parents.
Well, what if they don't have good parents?
While they're in school, they have to have parents to be in school.
What if they don't have any parents? Okay, who took them to school? That's what Bill O'Reilly thinks is happening in Harlem. That kids just live in an apartment by themselves, like
paying rent, driving themselves to school.
Like these kids don't have any parents. Like
Send them to school.
No,
they don't have.
Hold on.
School trip application.
He's like, his reaction is literally like, who's taking them?
Yeah.
Like, he's concerned. Like, who's doing this?
Oh, you know what's crazy is that, like, tangent, but for this whole election thing, and people are talking about, there's all these people that think somehow that black people don't have access to like the DMV, or they don't have IDs and all that stuff. So
or they don't have smartphones.
Yeah,
they don't have they
don't have parents.
Yeah,
but there's this video.
It's so disconnected.
There's some guy who he goes into, I think he goes into Harlem, and he's just asking people walking by, strangers, and they're all black people. Hey, do you have an ID? And they just look at him like, of course I have. Like, what kind of question is that? But that's what Bill O'Reilly thinks. He thinks that if you go to Harlem, nobody has an ID, nobody knows how to get anywhere, nobody has the internet, no one has Wi-Fi, no one has smartphones, nobody has electricity.
We get that. And what Cameron's basically saying is, some kids don't have parents, but there's someone taking them to school. Someone's making them go to school, like whether they live with their aunt, uncle, grandparent, something. Bill O'Reilly's basically like, these kids don't have anyone around them, and they're just living on their own.
They're just feral.
In abandoned buildings.
They're just feral, like Lord of the Flies kids.
Yeah. Case homeboy, whoever's in my on the television, you need to have parent-teacher conferences with your students. Whether it's their aunt, their cousin, their sister, somebody send these kids to school. They're not 11 years old staying home by themselves. I can't go home and talk to these young students and you need to have more parent-teacher conferences if you have problems with
He's waving his finger at his teacher.
Let him reply. Go ahead.
Now you want to
reply.
Okay.
Now you want to be the mediator.
That's a good point, Cam.
Thank you.
Right. Actually, no, it's excellent point.
Thank you.
Actually, you are talking to these dudes because they listen to you every day. See, you are.
So I got more influence than their parents. That's a problem.
No.
That's a problem. That is a problem. So you need to have parents-teacher conference because these are your students. You feel me? I can't come if you want me to come to your school and talk to your students. I can do that.
No,
for you.
I don't. No,
all right,
I don't.
Listen.
Are you going to come use the four-letter words?
Go ahead.
Are you going to come?
Let him get in.
Talk to your parents.
You're cutting me off, sir.
You're mad.
Go ahead, Mr. Thomas. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying to you,
and then they both just laugh right
you're making millions of dollars off of these kids.
The same kids
that you're now denigrating, the same parents that you're now denigrating, you make millions of dollars off these people.
How do you know how much money I make?
Cam.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I think it's pretty unfair for you to judge the circumstance without properly understanding it, but every opportunity we get, we try to say as positive things as we can, which is why when we do make these money, we give back to a community. Me and Cam ourselves from 142nd Street in Lenox, we do have a program there that teaches the kids to be positive. We make them go to school. We support a basketball program, and every chance we get, we personally know 150 kids in the neighborhood and speak to them and tell them to stay in school and incentivize them to stay in school.
Okay, turn it off.
Okay. We don't care about you doing good stuff.
Pimping and bitches.
You could tell he was like, "You gonna bring me on here for this?" So then he was just like, "Man, I'm just gonna." And then Dame Dash was trying to get at anyone.
Well, it's funny because they turned on that other dude.
But I mean, you do have to have parent-teacher conferences. If you're saying that you can't control the kids, like, what do you?
So weird.
He's not the teacher.
They're both one in the they're talking about 4-letter words. Like, you say all these 4-letter words. This from the Do It Live guy. Like, how ironic is that?
Yeah, right. Man, that was a good clip. That's classic Rockefeller, Dame, and Cameron.
We're gonna do we're gonna try to bring more classic clips that we can share. There's so much good stuff out there that's undiscovered, So if you're a listener and you have a classic clip that you think that we might be interested in sharing, send it to our email at livefromoxcity@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll just bring you some random stuff, some stuff that if you're a reformed racist, then it's probably be new for you.
Or if you have an outbreak or an outburst on a network TV show or like a news broadcast, then send that in. Oh. What else we got here? You hear that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's not the dog drinking water this time. When somebody asks you where you're from, like people ask you what part of the country you're from or wherever you grew up, like, and you say Oxnard, right? Like when you say Oxnard and they ask where is that, what is that? Like, how do you?
I see what you're saying. So
yeah,
like you're
how do you
saying
explain it?
You mean like if you go out of town, outside of like California or something, and someone asks where you're from, where you live, or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of people out here from Oxnard that will say Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah, we know one of them.
Really?
Yeah, he I'm not gonna put his name out there, but he put up an Instagram post. Said that he was in North Los Angeles. And had to call him out on it.
I got you. Yeah, no, so first of all, I definitely say Oxnard. Because it's a good education, and it's actually if you're on another the other end of the country, 9 times out of 10 they might not have heard of Oxnard.
Yeah.
Or they might have, depending on what they're into.
For any listeners who, or I guess most listeners anybody who doesn't know where Oxnard is what, an hour north of Los Angeles. So it's in Ventura County, California. So it's not LA County, but it's just a little bit north. You head up the coast from LA, and it's right in between LA and Santa Barbara County. It's got some coastline.
What I usually tell people is it's a beach city, in between Santa Barbara and Malibu. That's what I usually say.
Okay.
Because
people know where that is. Like people know Santa Barbara, people know Malibu, right?
Right. And I think that's more so it because we're a beach city. So a lot of times if you say an hour north, a lot of people say it's north of Los Angeles, and to me that's like going inland still.
What, Los Angeles?
Yeah, like if you say north of Los Angeles, if someone just literally on the map, they just go up from Los Angeles, it's kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like maybe like Palmdale and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I kind of just make it easier on people. But depending on what they're into, they might have heard of Oxnard. If they're into
hip-hop, boxing.
Some hip-hop, yeah. Boxing for sure. We've had a couple world champions. Other things, depending, they might have been a lot of people. What I heard, a lot of people go, when I was living in Florida, a lot of people had heard of Oxnard because they had been to Santa Barbara. And so they're like, yeah, I've known Oxnard. Yeah, I used to go to Santa Barbara for whatever. So,
yeah. Now it's Anderson Paak is definitely.
Yeah,
bringing attention to it for sure.
Yeah, he's a couple Grammys.
Yeah.
Signed to Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
He's on beer commercials.
Yeah, he's on Guinness,
what's that beer?
Which is weird.
Yeah, is it Guinness?
Yeah, it's Guinness. Which is
no.
Yeah, it is. I think so.
What? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Guinness. But
really? Okay. Good for him.
I say the same thing. I say Oxnard, and then I wait to see if anything registers in their brain about it. But then I do usually just go north of Los Angeles.
Mm.
But yes, because when people think about Southern California, it's always LA, it's Hollywood,
Yeah.
So if I make it in reference to that, then they kind of have a better idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, because you always get the person who's like, you always get the person who will say, "Oh, I'm from a certain place," but they're not really from that place.
Oh yeah.
And they're basically like lying.
Yeah. You're lying.
You're a liar. No, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird that you would lie about where you're from.
What's funny is I went, when I joined the military and I had to go to boot camp, I met people in boot camp that, had never been to California or even never been like to the West Coast at all. But so they ask about California, and people will literally ask me if I've been to Compton. Like, have you ever been to Compton? Like it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
From Compton's not like a drive-through place. Like you don't go there if you don't have a destination there.
So I remember when my second year playing at Oxnard College, we played against Compton Community College, and most of my team was from out of state, and we got hopped in the 2 vans or whatever, and we drove to Compton. And when they start seeing signs and stuff, Compton, and they would be like looking out the window all scared, and it was just hilarious. It's like, yeah, there's some bad areas, of course, but it's a city too. Like,
yeah, it's a city where people live and go to work.
Yeah.
They have IDs. They have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
They have parents.
And they just, you could tell that they were just, it was in their head, like Boys in the Hood or something.
Well, people think if you live in California, then you see Tom Cruise at the store.
Yeah.
Like I've met people who ask, like, have you seen any celebrities? Like, have you ever seen any? It's like, yeah, I mean, I've seen some, but it's not like they're my neighbor,
Right.
People think that there are so many more celebrities than there actually are,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. There's what, 2,000 celebrities or something, and then that's it. Like the list of celebrities.
Period.
Yeah. Like how many do you think that there are?
There's probably more than that. 2,000? Jeez.
Think about it.
There's how many people are in the NBA?
Yeah, but they're not all celebrities.
I know. I'm saying, how many people are in the NBA?
I don't know. 32 teams. What, 15 guys a team? Math in public. I don't know, 400 something.
Yeah, that's about almost 500, like 480-ish. So,
what percentage of those are celebrities?
That's what I was about to get to. So you might have, what, 100 of those are celebrities?
I would say maybe one per team.
What? You're crazy.
On average?
You're crazy. Celebrities
are like LeBron, Dwayne Wade.
Name an NBA team.
The Jazz.
Okay. Rudy Gobert is a celebrity.
No.
What? He's 7 foot whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
he's the defensive player of the year.
The red carpet, nobody's saying like, "Whoa, Rudy Gobert's here." It's who's that tall guy?
No, they're gonna say that about the short guy, who's a celebrity also. Who's that short guy?
No, because it's Kevin Hart, and that's it.
Rudy Gobert come on. Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA.
Yeah, but you don't know that if you don't watch
He was the
NBA.
first guy. No, you know what? He is a celebrity because he was the first person to catch COVID. He's a celebrity.
I'm sick.
That's Stanford. Yeah.
Cough.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just touch everything.
One cares. Now no one cares because everyone got COVID.
Because everybody just got it anyways. But God, that was the funniest.
It. Okay, so can we now say that he's a celebrity?
Who else?
I'm saying no. Hold on. We gotta. Is Rudy Gobert a celebrity or no?
I don't think so.
Oh my God!
I'm talking about.
He was front page news.
I'm talking about somebody who.
Donovan Mitchell isn't a celebrity?
No.
So you're saying okay? So you're talking A-list celebrities?
Yes. People
so
that
that's
like,
two different things.
Like household names.
Okay, yeah, household names. That's two different things.
Because that's what people are talking about. Like when the guys that are like, "Oh man, have you ever seen a celebrity?" That's what they're talking. They're not talking about Rudy Gobert. They're talking about Tom Cruise or like Brad Pitt or LeBron or
I got you.
A giant celebrity like that. Not like a because Rudy Gobert is a celebrity to us, but
yeah.
But
okay, you're talking A-list celebrity.
Yes, I mean, how many A-list celebrities do you think there are in the
NBA? A-list celebrities, probably like 15.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I bet you the NBA probably has. I mean, football would have more, I think, but football is difficult because they wear helmets.
Yeah. So I'd say football, maybe 10.
Maybe 10. Yeah. I mean, like you got guys
A-list.
like Mahomes,
Tom Brady.
Yeah. I mean, but after
the
that,
other guy, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, he's a celebrity now. Yeah.
Now? What do you mean now?
Well, he's more of a celebrity now to people who probably, who to somebody who doesn't watch football, before. But, like, so say all amongst the major sports, there's 50 maybe, right?
Mm.
Then we talk about
Aaron Rodgers. You think Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees?
I think Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, yeah. Because like those guys are on commercials,
Yeah.
But like that's why they always say that the acting community or Hollywood, they're small worlds,
Odell Beckham.
Yeah, Odell Beckham, because he made that one catch and then he got a dandruff commercial and then now he's.
Nah, he has talent. He's good.
He does.
But he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't been the same. But
yeah.
But I can't really think of any others.
Yeah, I don't think there's as many celebrities as we kind of think there are sometimes. Like that's why they say it's a small world.
Gronk is.
Yeah. If
Larry Fitzgerald,
if you've partied with Shaq, then you're a celebrity, and Gronk has partied with Shaq. Have you seen that video?
No.
It's Shaq doing his like DJ Shaq
yeah, I did.
thing, Yeah, and Gronk's like twerking on him.
I did see.
Which is a hilarious duo, Gronk and Shaq.
Who's your top 3 people who's your top 3 athletes that racist people love?
Oh. Man.
Like that cuts out the NBA.
Yeah, it does. You could tell when it was. Man, I don't like the NBA anymore.
Man, I hate. Larry Bird's retired. I hate the NBA.
Luka Doncic back. I love the NBA.
I love the NBA, man.
I don't know. I don't know about favorite players, but I work with a guy who swears by hockey and like just says like hockey is like the baddest, and the toughest.
Yeah.
Which you got to be tough to play hockey.
Yeah, of course.
And they play through so much stuff. Like they'll play, none of them got any teeth, and they play through all kinds of injuries. But we argue about what's more violent, like football or hockey. But the collisions in football are so different than hockey.
Yeah.
Like it happens in hockey. But anyways, there's also like a little bit of underlying tone of hockey is like a tough white man sport.
Yeah.
You know, like these guys are real tough, you know.
Oh, these are real men.
Yeah, these are real men, you know.
These are real Aryan men.
Yeah. But there's other guys that I remember after the NBA season started, and you know, it's like the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and they're pushing this social agenda. And I've run into several people that I've just mentioned, like, hey, Lakers are doing good, you know, like kind of just conversation. You assume somebody's, you know, a fan of the local team, but then they just go, man, I'm not really into the NBA anymore. I'm not really watch it. And then I think,
yeah, too political or whatever.
Yeah,
they're trying to. They should just shut up and dribble.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Where'd you learn that?
Yeah, so I can get, but yeah, I don't know. Who do you know anybody who idolizes?
Dang. I mean, I'm trying to think like football, basketball.
All NASCAR.
Anybody? Yeah, I know, because it's easy to just go NASCAR, baseball.
Yeah, and any NASCAR dudes.
Hockey.
I don't know. It's apparently the Red Sox are, the fans can be bad sometimes. Like they've had to come out and do public apologies and stuff to players. I guess players are just hearing all kinds of stuff coming out of the stands in Boston.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So maybe Boston is
I like the international flavor of baseball.
Yeah. Pause.
Nah, I'm trying to think. I mean, Tom Brady's easy.
Yeah, it is. But if you ask me, like, I think Patriots. Tom Brady's the best. Like, I think Tom Brady's the GOAT. Like, I didn't see Steve Young, but people hate on Brady so much. I don't see it. I always see him being nice to everybody, you know, like except for Nick Foles.
I mean, I don't I think part of that was the Patriot thing too.
Yeah.
That everyone's like, you know, let me see. So I would say, dang. Yeah.
You know who I can say for sure, if you like this guy, this athlete, then there's a good chance that you're racist. But John Daly, you know who that is?
No.
He's a golfer.
Oh, okay.
He was at the second the second debate that ended up being, it was supposed to be the third debate, but it was only the second presidential debate. But in the crowd, John Daly was sitting next to Kid Rock, who Kid Rock is like a big Trump supporter, obviously. But John Daly was wearing his like American flag blazer.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, I mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
But so he was known for being like a really outspoken golfer. Like think of like the Johnny McEnroe of golf, kind of. And I think he would like be super drunk, you know, like he was like that kind of dude. So if you like that guy, then most likely, yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know.
I'm glad that it's a short list, though. I'm glad that there aren't any. It's because it's so hard if you're an athlete, especially if you play NFL or you're football, basketball, baseball. You're around so many people that are of a different ethnicity that you really can't be racist. You know.
Oh yeah.
You could try, but it's not going to last very long.
It's very tough to fathom. Like I couldn't fathom someone being that way.
Right.
Like you'd have to be pretty solidified in your racist ways.
But you see the same thing in the military. It's like there are people that come from all over and they have different backgrounds, but when you get put in that situation, the people that you grew up with, that kind of cultured that or cultivated that belief, they're not with you. You're with these people now. So you either got to figure it out or or go home, you know, and that's not an option. So I think the same thing is it happens in sports too.
Yeah.
People say that coaches are racist. You know, like somebody will say, "Oh, Nick Saban is a racist" or something. Like, you know how many black players most of these coaches have had?
Right. Yeah. And how much time they spend with literally just them.
Right.
Like coaches spend a lot of time with their players, you know?
Yeah.
And
they
they're
recruit
there all
them.
day,
They go to their families' houses.
Go to their family. Not just the recruitment. It's just, you know, they're going on trips. They're spending time they're spending a lot of time in practice. They're, you know, outside of practice, they have one-on-one meetings. They got film. They got weights. You know, I mean, they're not, you know, the bigger schools, they're not in the weight room, but they're spending a lot of
time
most of the week with these people.
Right. And there are a lot of players that come back, or even after they've left, you know, they talk about how their coach was like, you know, a father figure, or, you know, was like, or whatever it was, they had some kind of connection with them. You know, you can see how much time they spent together and how much they get to know. I mean, my dad was a coach, you know, like you played for my dad. And so like, you get to know people. Like, you get to know your coach gets to know you, you know, and then you kind of get an understanding for somebody.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
Did I ever tell you about how somebody tried to call my dad racist when he was coaching?
Maybe.
I know I've never told the listeners, so
That's a good one.
Yeah, my dad is white and my mom is black, and so my dad was a basketball coach for probably 25, 30 years. Coached me, Coach Drew, together on the same team. Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid, I remember, well, when I grew up, then I heard this story, but there was a black kid who was on my dad's team who I guess wasn't playing. My dad wasn't playing him. And so the family accused my dad of being racist, like not playing the kid because he was black. And then, but they didn't know that my dad was married to a black woman and had black children.
Hilarious.
So I can't.
What did he say?
I think he introduced the parents to my mom, and he was like, wow. "Hey, this is my wife. I'd like you to meet my wife." I'm like, "Oh,
wow, that's hilarious."
So, be careful who you call racist.
Yeah,
because you might look stupid.
I will say this: one of my favorite things is finding out someone that basically finding out, okay, they're not racist.
Like if you think that they are, that they
not even that, but you just it's clear that they're not.
Like, how do you find that out though?
Well, like certain things, it's like, oh wow, like they display
like, no, I'm not into NASCAR. Like, oh wow, okay, I see you.
Like, no, I mean just a pattern of history of you just getting to know someone, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, this person's.
Side note, shout out if you like NASCAR, and if you know anything about NASCAR, please feel free to email into the podcast, because I don't get it. I don't get what the appeal is about it. I don't understand what makes cars different. I don't understand what makes drivers different. So if you got that intel and you're not racist, let us know.
You're not racist. I mean, listen, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I could understand how cars intrigue people.
Yeah.
And going fast. And
do you think it's a sport
and
though?
A race? I don't think it's. I think it is a competition.
Okay.
But is it an athletic?
Yeah, like an athletic event.
Competition? No. So maybe sport isn't considered, like maybe you don't, maybe athletic competition isn't the same as sport. So
right.
I'm just being devil's advocate.
Do you think horse riding is a sport?
Same.
For the horse, it is, right?
For the horse, it is.
Now you run or you get shot. That's the sport.
Oh man, yeah, you get, yeah. What is it? The Preakness?
The what?
The Preakness?
I don't know. I've never seen Seabiscuit.
I've heard. I mean, I've never seen it either, but I've heard that word used, the Preakness, which I don't know if that's the name of the horse or the race.
I don't know, but I just if I ever get to a point in my life where I can name a horse, I know I made it.
I mean, what do you mean? Oh, when you can name your own horse?
Yeah, because you see like the horses' names, and they're like,
yeah,
Betty's good luck charm, you know, and it's like Betty's a 85-year-old lady who is like a billionaire or something, you know.
Yeah. The lady from Joe from The Office.
Joe.
The lady, the billionaire from Orlando or whatever, millionaire.
Oh,
from Orlando.
Kathy Bates.
Oh, why did I think your name was Joe?
Well, in the show, her name is Joe. But
yeah.
The actress is Kathy Bates.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing when somebody's talking about like a movie and there's some female actress in it who they're talking about what's hot. And they're like, oh, what's that girl's name? Like the girl who's in Transformers. Kathy Bates? And they're like, no. And I just keep throwing names like Betty White? No. Whoopi Goldberg? Oprah? No.
Whoopi Goldberg.
That's like my favorite thing to do.
The third one is Whoopi Goldberg?
No, I just throw out whatever is the furthest thing from what they're thinking. You know, like when somebody's like, who is the lead guy in Training Day? And then I'm like, James Earl Jones.
Oh, got you. So you just throw out random names.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah. I saw a commercial the other day that was for an app where James Earl Jones reads the Bible. So it's just It's just recordings of James Earl Jones read the Bible, and the slogan, the tagline on the commercial was, "Fall asleep to prayer."
Wow. Fall asleep to it.
So they know this shit's boring.
That's crazy.
They just want you to fall asleep. They just want you to fall asleep to it, and then once you sleep, then it'll sneak into your mind subliminally.
James Earl Jones is, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah. That's why it was, I mean, like, I'm not into that so much, but but if it was James Earl Jones reading it, I might listen to it. I might fall asleep to it.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite things to do. And then, like, when I first started working where I work now, like my first day, people are asking questions about me. And so I just, like, for whatever reason, I just kept lying. So they were like, it came up somehow of like what my ethnicity was. And then for every person that would ask me that, because I get asked a lot, you know, like, because I'm ambiguous looking, you know, to the listener, I'm a brownish person. So you don't know exactly what race I am. So when somebody asks me, I could give a whole different variety of what I might be. And it's close enough to where people just kind of have to accept it. So I kept, somebody would ask me at work, and I'd say, oh, I'm Chinese and Greek. And they're like, okay. And then they just take it at face value, and that's the end of it. And then I tell somebody else, hey, what ethnicity are you? I'm Iraqi. Right? And then later when they all have a conversation separately, like, hey, did you meet the new Chinese guy? And then they say, no, I thought that was an Iraqi guy. And then they all argue over what race I am. And I tell them that I lied to all of them.
Yeah, so listeners, I think what you can understand is we're not trying to be politically correct. We live in an era where it's just, there's no point.
Oh, am I not allowed to say other countries' names? Is that racist?
No, it's very not racist. I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. But no, we're at like we're at an hour and a half.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're.
We touched on race. We touched on our races. We touched on racism. That's.
We talked a little bit about pimping and bitches.
We talked about from the good Cameron. Hey, I heard Cameron was actually really good hooper. Like, he was really good. Like, probably the best rapper of all time, hooper of all time. Damn, he was really good. I heard.
You say that? That's a list for another day, by the way. Best hip hop all-star game.
All-star game?
Yeah, like who's your picks for hip hop all-star game?
It's a reason that they're rapping.
There's a bunch.
Who?
We'll get into it.
It's a reason they're rapping. They're
we'll
like
get into it next time.
A lot of them are like 5'2".
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're going to play in the NBA, but they could have an all-star game against each other.
No. You know who actually is good? Chris Brown. I know he's not a rapper.
Chris Brown's good. The Game is good. J. Cole's good.
Oh, that's true.
I heard Brian McKnight was good.
Yeah, not a rapper, but yeah.
No, I mean,
I heard J. Cole's trying to. Bitches, did you see that clip where I think J.R. Smith, he's basically like making fun of someone traveling. So it's just a clip.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically he just gets the ball and runs past his defender and scores without dribbling. And everyone just kind of laughed. But someone passes him the ball and then he does it. And then he runs and lays it up. And then they pan and zoom out, and the person who passed, and this is like a open gym run, like a pro open gym run,
pro pickup game,
and so you see a couple of people that are in the league, and then they pan out, and the person who passed him the ball was J. Cole.
Yeah,
it's like, dang, J. Cole just nonchalantly passing the rock, checking in.
But you saw the rest of those clips of J. Cole playing with them, though, right?
No, see, I didn't see those.
J. Cole he can shoot. He can handle the ball.
His first video, in like his first major rap video, he's shooting the basketball, and it looked kind of.
It doesn't look great.
It doesn't look like he's a good player.
It doesn't look great.
I've seen him. I've seen the clips of him working out. Like, you know how they have those like training videos or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, J. Cole can hoop,
man.
Like, but then they said, oh, he might try out for the Bulls or try out for someone.
Yeah, I remember talking to my buddy.
Dang it!
I was talking to my buddy about that, and my friend Jordan, who I don't know if he's listened yet, but he will be a listener of this show. He's a pretty funny guy, but. When I told him about J. Cole, or we were talking about him wanting to go in the NBA, and he said, like, yeah, that when he was growing up, he wanted to be Batman, but like, we can't all be Batman. You know, J. Cole can't be an NBA player with his trash jump shot. Like, he sees his jump shot, he knows. J. Cole is like 5'8" or something. I don't know. Like, he's not playing in the NBA.
J. Cole is not 5'8".
Why? Why not?
J. Cole is way taller than 5'8".
All right, he's 6'4", whatever. A black male between 5'8" and 6'4".
Said no cop ever. Now J. Cole is probably between like 6 foot and 6'3", around there.
Yeah, either way, he's not playing in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. He's also like 34 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. And the NBA is not really like a second career, like a part-time job.
Or or a first attempt at a job.
No.
It's not one of those jobs where you're like, hey, I'll be a cashier.
Or you're applying for something that you're not qualified for.
Yeah, it's not. They're not just
like, I'll figure it out
accepting
when I get there.
applications.
Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah.
Does anybody
we'll
want
interview him. We'll interview this person. Ooh, they got a cool resume. They made a song with Jay-Z. Let's give them an interview. Yeah, it's not that league. Yeah.
All right. That's it for our another episode of Live from Ox City. If you're interested in tuning in for some extra content, we're about to kick off the nightcap. So, nightcap, what we're about to do is pour ourselves a drink, wind down the podcast.
Okay, so we got a drink for the nightcap.
Yeah, that's what a nightcap is.
Okay.
So I have my drink, you have your drink, which...
Me get my bottle of Ace of Spades.
Okay, I got mine already ready, so you go ahead. Go ahead and get yours ready. But, yeah, we're going to...
So what are we doing in the nightcap? Nightcap is just where we turn up and get more...
Yeah, nightcap is where we turn up, we pour ourselves a glass of something and kind of wind down and talk about the podcast or anything else we didn't get to that we want to talk about. So if you're interested in that will be available on a different platform to be determined, or we decided on that yet?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So basically, what the nightcap will be is basically we turn up and we go more in depth and we go hard times 2. Pause.
Yeah. So if you're interested, tune into the nightcap. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Live from Ox City.
Peace.